Hi, Young Kindergarten. Today, we're not actually going to be doing a writing activity, so no journals today. I promise you that today, Friday, we'd be having a special activity. Now, I've been talking for a few weeks about doing a cooking project, and as you can see, that's what we're about to try. So, I don't know what you have in your kitchens, so I thought that maybe I would just show you how to cook something, and then maybe you guys can try and make your own thing. So the first thing I want to tell you about is, why are we doing a cooking project? We don't get to be together for it. But if you remember the book we read before this activity, it was about how Newt was trying to think of a way that he could help Turtle, something he could do for him. So the message of that was to think about others and think about kind things that we can do for them. All year we've been practicing how to be kind, caring friends to each other, to other people. We made pizza for a bunch of people in the school, the teachers. We did a Thanksgiving meal that was for other people. So we're trying to, while we focus on our own needs, think about others as well. During this time, we can't really be with each other. So we need to make sure we're spending extra time thinking about how we can do kind things for other people, let people know that we're thinking about them and that we care. So for today's activity, I challenge you to make something and then give it away. So what I'll be doing here today, and it's hard to tell, do you know what I'm going to be cooking or baking today? Let's see, we've got a mixer, we've got a big mixing bowl, we've got a little glass container, we've got some plastic wrap, some oil, and a little dish, measuring cup. We've got a spatula, we've got a brush, and I also don't want to forget one of the most important things is some eggs. So I've got some eggs here too. So we are going to make, my first guess would be a cake, because it kind of feels like cake-related ingredients, but I'm actually going to make some bread. So I've never made this before. So I'm taking a chance. I'm definitely going to make some mistakes. And in all likelihood, I'll be getting messy too. So all the things we talk about in Young Kindergarten. So I challenge you to do something too. So this activity will probably be in different parts, since there's a lot of steps and it takes a lot of different time. So for the first step, you're going to see me mix and put everything together, okay? So I have ingredients on here, and we're gonna put all this stuff together. So let me cut off the top of this bread mixture bag, and this has the ingredients in it too. So it has some packages in here. So this is a yeast package, and the yeast is something that helps the bread rise. So you make dough and it actually gets bigger. And so the yeast is something that helps it expand and grow it and get bigger. So let's see. The first instruction says we need 1.5 cups of warm water. Now, my first mistake. This will only hold 1 cup of water. So we need to let's get something bigger than that. So up in my cabinet, I have a big one. This one goes up to 2 cups. So we're gonna get 1.5 cups of warm water. So I'm gonna turn the water on in my sink, and it says up to 110 degrees. I don't know how warm that's gonna get, but I think the warm tap water will do. So let's fill this up to 1.5 cups. Woo, that's hot. That should do it. 1 and a little bit more, 1.5. So we fill this up to 1.5. All right. So we have 1.5 cups of warm water. We want to place the warm water in a large mixing bowl. So warm water, large mixing bowl. So you can see this here. All right, so we're going to put this in. That is warm water in a large mixing bowl. The next step is to sprinkle the yeast over the warm water and set aside for 5 minutes. So I'm going to cut this yeast package open, I think is the best way to tackle this. And we're going to carefully sprinkle this over. So it looks kind of like little seeds. So I'm going to sprinkle it over nice and gently. You don't want to dump it in. I don't know why I don't want to dump it in other than it says just to carefully sprinkle it over. So I'm going to follow the instructions as best I can. So let's put all this in. There are a lot of yeast-looking seeds in here. All right, so warm water, sprinkle yeast over, and now it says let it set aside for 5 minutes. So I'm going to set a timer for 5 minutes. And while we are waiting, it says we can oil a loaf pan and set it aside. So I'll move this. So this is apparently a loaf pan. It looks like a loaf, I guess. So we are going to oil that. So I have some oil here. Let's get the extra yeast out of the way and the scissors and this thing. And we're going to pour a little bit of oil in this guy right here, just like this. So pour that in, should be more than enough. And we're going to take a paper towel. I think this should work. And I'm going to dip it in the oil. Have this close by. And oh, that's a whole lot of oil. And then I think I'm just going to rub the sides with it. I think that's probably what it means. Mm-hmm. So we'll spread that around. And that, get a little bit at the top in case we get some spillover. And I think, see, you can see all the stuff I wiped on there. Maybe a little bit in there. And I think that is probably what it wants us to do. So I'm going to pause the video right here and let the rest of the 5 minutes go through. And when it's done, I'll turn our video back on and we'll get to the next step. All right. Well, welcome back, friends. I know it's just an instant for you, but that's been 5 minutes. So what we're going to do is we've already greased this loaf container, loaf pan thing. So we're going to put that out of the way. And we don't need this container of oil, so get that out of the way. What we're going to be working with now is the warm water and the yeast. And we need to combine a lot of different things in there. So the first thing that I'm going to put in there are egg whites. Now, they're eggs, and then there's yolk and whites in there. But I don't want the yolk, I just want the whites. So apparently there's some magic way of just getting the whites. So I'm going to try that. All right. I'm a little nervous about this part. That's how I'm feeling right now. So here are eggs. All right. So I think I can break them in half and juggle the yolk back and forth and let the whites come out. So that's what we're going to do. And maybe I'll put it in this first so we don't get eggshells in there. Now it says, I think it says 3 egg whites. It says 3 egg whites. So let's try it. I'm going to crack it. Oh boy, all right, we're off to a interesting start. So I'm just going to, okay. I'm just going to take the top off. Oh my goodness, it's coming down my hand, and that could be, I don't know. Is that egg white? That's probably egg white. And back this way. Oh my goodness. Whoop. Oh yeah, look at that. That's pretty cool. So how do I just get, okay. So I think, all right, that is an egg yolk right there. Okay, so there's one. Apparently, oh my goodness, I have to do that 2 more times. So let's, some on the counter. All right, I'm just gonna crack it like this all the way around, make a nice little door to open it with, And let's see this one go. Maybe this way. Okay. Oh, okay. This is the messy part. Oh my. There we go. Oh, it's on the counter. That's probably fine. Okay. This is the tricky part. Oh, there goes a bunch. And let's see if we can get that in there. Pour a little bit more in there. All right. There's someone. Let's see. I'm sure that's fine. I'm sure that the recipe accounts for dropping a bunch. So let's do our last egg white. Okay. Crack along the side, just like this. Give it some nice little taps, and it kind of. Oh, I forgot about that. This is okay. All right. Stay in there, Mr. Yolk. All right, and there. Whoa! Almost lost the yolk in that time. And then I think we can just kind of do that, and I think that's as much yolk or egg white rather as I can get. Okay, that's 3 egg whites, 3-ish. Whoa, almost dropped it in. All right, so I'm gonna get rid of this here. I'm covered in egg. Let me just wipe my hands a little bit. Okay. Whew. 3 egg whites. We did it. First time. Taking risks. Making messes. And, plenty of mistakes. There is a fair amount of egg white on here. But I'm sure that's fine. Okay. This can go in the trash. All right. So after all that, it needed 3 egg whites, but now it needs 1 whole egg. This I'm good at. This I can do actually one-handed. Crack it, and pull it apart. So we need 1 whole egg. All right, so we don't need that. That can go away. Another paper towel. Okay, so, all right, the egg part's done. So add egg whites, oil, and bread mixture. So this can go in. So we're going to pour this right in. Like that. And then it needs a 1/4 cup of oil. Which is what this is. And this doesn't have a 1/4 cup. So let's get the other one we had. The other one we had 1/4 cup marking on it. 1/4 cup. So we're going to fill it up to that line. So see it. We'll fill this up to a 1/4 cup. There we go, a 1/4 cup. Away. I don't know why I'm holding this paper towel. Away. And then we're going to add this 1/4 cup of oil. All right, that was much easier than the eggs. All right, so we've got the egg whites, the oil, and now the bread mixed to the yeast mixture. So this is the bread, and this is just going to go in like that. So that is all in there. And now we need to mix. I don't want to lose this. Now we need to mix that up. So it says to using an electric mixer fitted with a paddle attachment, which is this. It kind of looks like Captain Hook. I think it's a paddle attachment. I'm hoping it works. We are going to mix on low for 2 minutes. Okay, so don't need this yet. So this goes on like that. That feels tight. Okay, I'm going to lower this in. This is on tight. That goes in there. Locks on this side. That feels locked. And then over here is how we turn on. Let's see, it has a stir, a 2. All right, we're just gonna turn it on. Whoa, it's working. So we're gonna put it on 2. Feels like a low setting to me, and it says to mix on low for 2 minutes. All right, so mix on low for 2 minutes, and then after it's mixed, it says to take a rubber spatula, and we're gonna scrape down the sides of the bowl with a rubber spatula. So I think that means that as it's mixing, our hook attachment, our Captain Hook mixer attachment doesn't quite touch the sides. So what I need to do is I need to scrape down the sides to get more of it in the middle. That makes sense. And then continue to mix on medium speed for 6 more minutes. So that should make sense. So before I shut it off to scrape down the sides, I want you guys to think about, who would you maybe share something that you make? And again, maybe you don't have the ingredients to cook something or bake something, and that's totally fine. I don't want you to go out and get something that you don't have. It might be making a card for someone. It might be making a card for someone in your house, for a sibling, for a parent, for an adult who's been taking care of you. But something to show them how you care, how you think about them, something you can do for them because they're doing so much for you right now. I had this bread mixture, so I thought I would make it. Now, I would love to try it, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to walk it up to Aaron's parents' house, which is a few houses up. I'm going to ring the doorbell and leave it for them. They do so much for us, and I want to do something nice for them that they're maybe not expecting. So that's been about 2 minutes. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to shut this off. Let's see if I can figure out how to do that. And then I'm going to lift Captain Hook out of here. And I'm going to scrape down the sides here. That works. I already got it on myself. Let's get that there. And we're going to just come down the sides. And I'll go all the way around it, just like this. That. Just so I scrape it, I guess, off the sides. Just like that. Okay, that seems, I think, what it wanted me to do. And then, now that I've got like a nice little ball of, I guess this bread dough, we'll just wipe that off on there. I'll turn this back on for 6 more minutes. Now, after I do this, I need to set it aside. So this will mix for 6 minutes, and I'm going to set it aside for about an hour. Now, during that hour, the dough is supposed to rise. Fingers crossed that the dough rises. Once it rises, I then put it into this loaf pan. So I'm going to put it back in, lock it, turn it onto, let's call that medium, for 6 minutes. And after that, I'm going to set it aside for an hour. I'm going to do that, and we're going to come back, and we're going to do the next step together. So it'll be an instantaneous break for you, a longer one for me. I actually think I'm going to stop this video, and there'll be a second video in the instructions that you can click on to see part 2. I'll see you in just a minute. Hi, Young Kindergarten. Just kidding. We're going to keep this video going a little bit longer. So this is just about done. And so we can stop this, and we're going to transfer it to this. You could probably wrap it just in this, but I'm going to follow the instructions. So if something's wrong, I can blame it on the instructions. So we can stop this. That should be good. And unlock it. I'm going to open this back up. Now it looks like dough. So I'm going to scrape off this to get this to come in, get the last of the dough here. Just like that. All right. So that looks like what I think we want it to. And I'm going to take this, unlock it, and we're gonna, oh boy, this is heavy. All right, I'm gonna transfer it into this. And it doesn't pour. So I think we're gonna scrape it in. Okay, yep, so scrape it down the sides, just like we did before. And I'll try to coax it into this, just like that. Okay, come on. This mixing bowl is pretty heavy. Okay, in there. Yep, that's where you're supposed to go. Get this. It is real sticky. It's like working with Play-Doh. Hopefully it tastes better than Play-Doh does. Okay, that's good enough because my arm's really tired. All right, so that goes in there. I got a lot of batter on that, so let's scrape some more off, like this, like that. Okay, so like that, I think. All right, so spread this around a bit, make sure it just all gets in there. And yeah, we'll smooth it out. It doesn't say to, but why not? And okay, just like that. Okay, that's good. Let's smooth that a little bit. Okay, so what it says to do is to take plastic wrap, which is this, and I'm gonna wrap it. And I want it to rise. So I don't think I should wrap it super tight because then how's it gonna rise if it's got a really tight top to it? So what I think I'm gonna do, that looks good. I'm going to wrap it, but not super tight. And this sticks to everything. Okay, here we go. Now we just, okay, there we go. All right, oh. Now I'm just gonna put it over the top, give it some space to rise, and like that. Now I'm gonna set my timer again. Set my timer again for an hour. Now, really this time, I'm gonna stop this video, and then if you go back, there'll be another link to part 2 when we put it in the oven. Yes. So I hope you enjoyed this first bit of it, part 1. Make sure you go back and click on part 2 to see what comes next.